Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's Physics Classroom. We are on the chapter Motion from CBSE Grade 9. Today we will be discussing questions based on graphical representation of motion. In the previous video, we have already discussed how to analyze different types of graphs and how to find out some values. For example, from a displacement time graph, how do we find out velocity? And from velocity time graph, how do you get acceleration and distance traveled and displacement? If you have not seen that video, I will be providing the link for that video in the description box. Please click on the link and watch that video. So let's start solving the questions. We have a graph given here. It's a velocity time graph. You have to calculate the distance traveled, displacement, acceleration and retardation in the corresponding time intervals. So when you get this kind of a graph, most of the time students used to get panic. No need to be panic seeing this graph. Let's break it into small steps, analyze the graph and solve it. So the basic idea behind solving this graph, no matter what the shape the graph has, no need to worry about that. So we know that the area under the graph will give you the distance traveled and the slope of the graph will give you the acceleration. So here they are asking about retardation. Why they are asking the retardation here? You can see some lines here. See BC, BD and EG, right? HI. All these things. Some of them are coming downward, some of them are upward, right? So BD has a negative slope, HI has a negative slope, EG has a positive slope, AB has a positive slope. You can understand that, right? See, when time is increasing, velocity is increasing. That means acceleration. And when time increases, if the velocity decreases, then it is retardation. Okay. So let's start solving it one by one. So let's calculate the distance traveled first. How do you calculate the distance traveled? Distance traveled is equal to the area under the graph. So we have to break this diagram into three separate parts. So this is part 1, this is 2 and this is 3. Because area under this graph, right, they take different shapes because according to the specifications of or speciality of that particular motion. So we have a triangle ABC, then we have a trapezium CDEF and another trapezium FGHI. So let's calculate the area of triangle ABC. Area of triangle ABC. That is equal to, area of the triangle is half into base into height, right? So how do you calculate the base and height? So base is, let's substitute the value half into base. What is base here? Base comes as AC, right? That is expressed in seconds because it's a time axis. So base is 4 seconds multiplied by height. Height is this, right? So height is 5 meter per second. So you will be getting 5 into 4, 20. 20 divided by 2, 10 meters. Because we multiplied 4 seconds into 5 meter per second. So area of the triangle ABC will give you 10 meter because area under the graph of a velocity time graph will give you the distance. Okay. Now we have the trapezium, right? So let's calculate area of the trapezium CDEF. While we were deriving the equation of motion using graphical method, we have seen the formula for area of a trapezium, right? So what is the area of the trapezium? What is the formula for that? Half into sum of parallel sides plus sum of the parallel sides multiplied by height, the whole divided by 2. The 2 half is already there. Okay, so sum of the parallel sides into height divided by 2 will give you the area of the trapezium. Now we have to identify the parallel sides. So half is already there. Now let's see which are the parallel sides. CF and DE are the parallel sides. So what is CF? We have 9 here and 4 here, right? So that means CF is 5 seconds. Okay. So 5 plus the next parallel side is ED. ED, how do you calculate the distance of ED? 8 minus 5, right? That is 3. So 5 plus 3 seconds multiplied by height. Height is 5, right? So that is 5 meter per second. So that is equal to 8 into 5, 8 into 5, 40. 40 divided by 2, 20 meters. I am writing meters here because some of you will be wondering why the unit of area I am writing as meters. Unit of area is meter square, but we are doing this calculation from the graph. On x-axis we have time, and on velocity we have on y-axis we have velocity. So when you multiply that, you get the unit as meters. Okay, and always remember the area under the velocity time graph will give you the distance traveled. Okay, now we have to find out the area of this next trapezium, right? Area of trapezium FGHI is equal to, again I am not writing the formula, it is half into sum of the parallel sides into height. So what are the parallel sides here? GH and FI. So GH, we have to find out what is GH. GH is 12 minus 10, that is 2, plus FI, that is 13 minus 9, right? 13 minus 9, that is 4. So half into 4 plus 2, 2 plus 4 into height. Height is again 5 meter per second. Here it is second. So again 8 into 5 divided by 2. 6 into 5 divided by 2. So that's going to be 15 meter. This is 15 meter. Now the question is distance traveled and displacement. Okay. So what's the difference here? Here one of the graph is showing it's just going under the graph. That means it's in the negative axis. So for the distance traveled is equal to sum of these, all these areas we have calculated, that is 10 meter plus 20 meter plus 15 meter. Okay. So what is that? So we get 45 meters. 45 meter is the distance traveled by this object. Now coming to the displacement. So displacement is equal to, we have the triangle on the positive x-axis, 10 plus the trapezium, second trapezium is that 20 meter area, right? So that will be minus 20. Because it is coming in the negative axis, minus 20 meters plus 15 meter. So minus 20 plus 15 is minus 5, 10 minus 5, that is 5 meter. Understand the difference here. Distance traveled by the body is calculated as 45 meters and displacement of the body is calculated as 5 meters. Hope you understood. So whenever the graph comes below the x-axis, when it goes to the negative axis, when you are calculating displacement, you have to put the negative sign for that. Okay. Now, we are going to calculate the acceleration and retardation. Let's try to calculate the acceleration and retardation here. So, AB, right? AB is the acceleration graph. BD is the retarded graph. DE, there is no change in velocity, then that is going to be zero acceleration. And EG is going to be again acceleration, HI is going to be retardation. Okay, so let's calculate acceleration along from A to B, right? Acceleration of AB. The line AB, we have to calculate the acceleration. So how do you calculate acceleration? We have to take the slope. So what is the slope of the graph? Final velocity minus initial velocity divided by change in time, right? So B corresponds to 3 seconds and here we have 0, right? And velocity, final velocity is 5, initial velocity is 0. Okay, so this is going to be 5 minus 0 divided by 3 minus 0. Okay, so 5 by 3 or 1.67 meter per second square. This is the acceleration for the graph AB. I will explain once again. We have the curve AB, right? So acceleration is calculated by taking the slope of the graph AB. So slope is final minus initial, right, on y-axis divided by final minus initial on the x-axis. So 5 minus 0 by 3 minus 0 because B corresponds to 3 seconds. Hope it is clear. Now let's calculate acceleration. It's a retardation for BD. Okay. So retardation of BD. So again, we have to say acceleration itself, we will be getting a negative value. That's the difference here. Okay. So for BD, we can take the slope of BD. B final velocity, initial velocity, it's coming from B, right? It's starting from 5 meter per second and final velocity is, again, it is minus 5 meter per second. So we can write minus 5, this is final, minus initial 5 meter per second divided by time. What is the time interval in that? We have D, the final velocity corresponds to 5 seconds. Initial velocity corresponds to 3 seconds. Once again, observe the graph. Final velocity corresponds to 5 seconds and initial velocity, because it started from B, so initial time is 3 seconds. Okay, so this is going to be 5 minus 3. So minus 5 is minus 10. Minus 10 divided by 2, that is equal to minus 5 meter per second square. Okay, so this is the retardation. Similarly, you can calculate the retardation for the other curves, right? See, from E to F, now you can calculate E to G. E to G, we have final is 5. 5 minus 5 divided by, here it is 10 and here it is 8. So 5 minus 5 divided by 2, you will be getting again 5 meter per second square as a positive value. Okay, there it is acceleration. You can see the slope is increasing. And HI, again it comes downward. So final, right? Final is 0. So 0 minus 5 divided by 13 minus 12. That comes as the retardation for the curve HI. So that you have to solve as a homework and send it to me. I have shown different examples here. 2 curves, one curve for acceleration and another curve for the retardation I have shown you. DE and GH, the acceleration is going to be 0 because they are parallel to the time axis and there is no change in velocity. Acceleration will take place only when there is a change in velocity. Hope it is clear for you. Now let's move on to the next question. This is another type of graph. This is a simple one. We have to calculate the distance traveled and acceleration. So this graph is just a straight line graph for uniform motion. So its velocity changing continuously along with time. So distance traveled, the formula for distance traveled is equal to, here we don't have to worry about the negative axis, right? The graph is only on the positive axis and it starts from the origin. So distance traveled is equal to area of triangle OPQ. So area of triangle OPQ is, area is equal to half into base into height. Base is 0 to 8, right? So 0 to 8 is 8 itself, 8 second multiplied by height. Height is 80. Here velocity is taken in meter per second. So 80 meter per second. So 4 into 80, that is 320 meters, because 8 second into 80 meter per second. So distance traveled is equal to 320 meters. Now we can calculate acceleration. Acceleration is equal to slope of OP. So slope of OP is PQ divided by OQ. So PQ is 80 minus 0 divided by OQ is 8 minus 0. So 80 by 8, that is 10 meter per second square. So this is a very simple question. Here the starting is from the origin of the coordinate system. Now let's see another one where it is not starting from origin. It has an initial velocity of 10 meter per second. You don't have to worry about that. We just have to check what shape the graph has. See, in the previous question, let's understand the difference between the previous one and this one. Here, when it is starting from an initial velocity of 10 meter per second, area under the graph is becoming the area of the trapezium. But when it started from origin, we got a triangular graph. That is the only difference. Okay. So now let's do it. So displacement is equal to area of trapezium OABD. Now you will be familiar with the formula, right? So half into sum of the parallel sides. What are the parallel sides here? OA plus BD into height. What is height? Height is distance between the parallel sides, that is OD. Okay, so half into OA. OA is 10 meter per second plus BD. BD corresponds to, see, it is here between exactly at the midpoint of 30 and 40, that is 35, multiplied by OD. OD is the time axis, that is 5 seconds. So 35 plus 10, 45, 45 into 5 divided by 2. After the calculation, you will get it as 112.5 meters. Let me tell you one thing. Some students, when they see this decimal answers, they feel that it is wrong. You don't have to worry. We can get the answer in decimals. Because I am saying this because many times students used to say, even if they get the answer, they say that my answer is wrong. It's not. You are free to get the decimal answers. You don't have to worry. If you have taken the correct process, whatever answer, if you feel confident that your calculation is correct, then your answer is going to be correct. No matter it is a normal number or a decimal number or a fraction. If you get it in fraction, you can leave it there. No need to worry. Sometimes it can be some recurring numbers also. Okay. Now acceleration. Acceleration is equal to slope of AB. Slope of AB is, slope of AB, any slope when you take, we have to take the y-intercept by x-intercept, that is equal to BC divided by AC, right? BC divided by AC or CA, AC. So BC, what is BC? BC is 35 minus 10. This is how we have to take that value, okay? 35 minus 10, because BC, B corresponds to 35 and C corresponds to 10. So this distance, right, this is going to be 35 minus 10 divided by AC. It is 5 minus 0. So 35 minus 10, 25, 25 by 5, 5 meter per second square. So you got the acceleration also. So I'm just giving you different types of examples here. So if you practice these questions, definitely you will be able to solve any type of graph which comes in your exam. Okay, you don't have to worry at all. But you have to practice that, you have to make sure. Because if you watch the video for once, I cannot guarantee you will get the solution next time. You have to note down this question in your notebook, then practice it. If you are not getting it, come back to the video and check the answer. That freedom is always there. But make sure you, maybe after you try it for 1 or 2 times, the next time you are able to solve it in your own way. Okay? And you get the correct answer also. So if you practice that way, definitely you will score full marks from graphs. It's a sure question. Okay, graph based questions are sure in 9th grade. Okay. Now the following table represents distance of a car at different instants in a fixed direction. So data is given, time and distance is given. Draw displacement time graph and with its help find whether the motion of the car is uniform or non-uniform. Use the graph to calculate the velocity of the car and the displacement of the car at t equals 2.5 seconds and t equals 4.5 seconds. Okay, so we have to plot a displacement time graph. So displacement along y-axis, displacement in meters along y-axis, and time in seconds along x-axis. Now let's mark the values. At 0 we have 0, and when time is 1 second we have 10 meters. This is a displacement time graph. Till now what we were discussing was velocity time graph. Understand the difference. Okay, when time t is equal to 3 seconds, 30, then 4, 40, and 5 we have 50. So what we can do now, we can just join this together. You will get a straight line graph, right? You have to include this. Okay, so this is a straight line graph. I just drew it freehand. You can draw it using scale. So you will be getting a straight line graph. When you get a straight line graph, then it is uniform, right? So if the displacement time graph is a straight line, then that represents uniform motion. Okay, so answer for first question is uniform motion. Uniform motion. And now we have to calculate the velocity of the car. Okay, so for the question B, part 1, velocity is equal to, so let's name this OA, right? So slope of OA. So what is slope of OA? How do you calculate slope of OA? I just mark this point as B. So this is going to be BA divided by OB. BA is 50 minus 0. 50 minus 0 divided by OB is 5 minus 0. So we get the velocity as 10 meters per second. Now the displacement of the car at t equals 2.5 seconds and t equals 4.5 seconds. See, this is a displacement time graph. We have calculated the displacement from the velocity time graph in the previous questions. There we have calculated the area under the graph. Don't go and calculate the area under this graph because this is a displacement time graph. So corresponding to the times given in the question, we can directly find out the displacement. So they are asking t is equal to 2.5 seconds. So 2.5 seconds is somewhere here, right? So when you draw it in the graph sheet, you will get it exactly. So here it comes in the middle of 20 and 25. So the displacement of the car when t is equal to 2.5 seconds, displacement is equal to 25 meters. When t is equal to 4.5 seconds, 4.5 is here. So here it is. Here is the displacement corresponding to 4.5 seconds. That is S is equal to 45 meters. So those who have confusion now why I have not taken the area of the graph. Remember, this is displacement time graph. This is not a velocity time graph. If you have to calculate the displacement from a velocity time graph, you will be taking the area under the graph. You can just directly take the displacement corresponding to a particular time from a displacement time graph. So always check what is given on x and y axis before proceeding to the calculation. Okay, no need to find out the area in all the cases. Okay, let's do one more question, another different type of question. A car travels with a uniform velocity of 20 meters per second for 5 seconds. The brakes are then applied and the car is uniformly retarded. It comes to rest in a further 8 seconds. Draw a graph of velocity against time. Use this graph to find the distance traveled in the first 5 seconds, the distance traveled after the brakes are applied, total distance traveled, and the acceleration during the first 5 seconds and the last 8 seconds. So we have to draw a velocity time graph, right? Draw a graph of velocity against time. So velocity time graph is what we are going to draw. A car, so how do you draw this graph? That is the biggest question, right? So a car travels with a uniform velocity of 20 meter per second for 5 seconds. Okay, say this is our 20 meter per second. 20 meter per second. Initial velocity is 20 meter per second. It travels for 5 seconds. Okay, so this is where our 5 second is there. Okay, so time in seconds. So this is 5 seconds. Then the brakes are applied and the car is uniformly retarded. Retarded means we will have a negative slope, right? It comes down. It comes to rest in further 8 seconds. After 5 seconds, in another 8 seconds, it comes to rest. That means 5 plus 8, 13 seconds, it comes to rest. Our graph is ready. Okay, now we have to name the positions A, B, C, D. No worries about the points in between. Okay, so initial velocity was 20 meter per second and the brakes are applied, then it retards and finally it reaches to 0 meter per second. It comes to rest in further 8 seconds. That is why 5 plus 8, 13. Okay, now let's calculate the things. The distance traveled in 5 seconds. How do you calculate the distance traveled in 5 seconds? We have to calculate the area in 5 seconds means in the initial 5 seconds. That means the area of the rectangle OABD, right? Area of a rectangle is length into breadth. So that's going to be OD into OA. OD is 5 seconds. OA is 20 meter per second. So 5 into 20, the distance traveled in the first 5 seconds is 100 meters. Second question. The distance traveled after the brakes are applied. That means distance is equal to area of triangle BCD. So what is that area of the triangle BCD? Half into DC into DB, right? Half BH. So half into DC. DC is 13 minus 5. That is, I just write it. 13 minus 5 into 20. So half into 13 minus 5 is 8 into 20. So 8 into 10, that is going to be 80 meters. Okay, so that's about the distance traveled. Now the third question is total distance traveled. How do you calculate total distance traveled? See, here it is not going to a negative axis, right? Total distance is equal to 100 plus 80. Since it is not going to any negative axis, we just add it. So 100 plus 80, you will get 180 meters. Now, fourth question. Acceleration during the first 5 seconds and in last 8 seconds. Acceleration during the first 5 seconds. What is the acceleration? First 5 seconds. Acceleration is equal to 0 because there is a constant velocity of 20 meter per second. Now, last 8 seconds, acceleration is equal to slope of BC. See, acceleration in the first 5 seconds is the slope of AB, right? But here it is slope of BC in the last 8 seconds. So how do you calculate the slope of a graph? Final y coordinate final minus initial by x coordinate final minus initial. So y coordinate we have 0 minus 20 because it's BC, final is 0. Okay, so 0 minus 20 divided by 13 minus 5. So that's going to be minus 20 divided by 8. So minus 20 divided by 8, 10 by 4, minus 10 by 4, minus 5 by 2, that is minus 2.5 meter per second square. Observe how I have taken the value for the slope. Always we have to take the final minus initial. Okay, so acceleration is coming as a negative value. That shows that it is a retarded motion. So it's very clear that this velocity is decreasing. It comes to rest, right? So it is decreasing. So hope you have understood the discussion. It's very important. As I said, you have to note down the question and practice it yourself. And the discussion on the graph is completed here. And more discussion will be coming when I discuss the NCERT text bank exercises. We will have more graph-based questions. Here I try to cover maximum types of questions. Hope it helps you. So if you are watching this channel for first time, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for more updates when I upload the new lessons. And in the coming video, I will be discussing the uniform circular motion, which is going to be the last topic of the chapter, motion. Okay, so it's again a very important topic. So hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next class with uniform circular motion. Bye.